And we're back, everyone, into Game 2 of Week 4 Coalition League's Spring Split here. And it will be Rawr Rampage versus Vengeful Reapers for Game 2 here. They're just setting up for their picks and bans, which will hopefully be started shortly here. And on the side of Vengeful, they just had a very exciting Game 1 here. Against Shadow Keepers, which they managed to win after a bit of a bloodbath in the mid-game. Rawr Rampage also winning their Game 1. So both teams coming off a winning streak. We'll have to see how this goes here. And, you know, we had said that both teams play a very similar style against each other. Oh, and I forgot to mention, of course, I am Random Minion Caster, and for Game 2, and for all the games tonight, I'll have alongside me here Adorit Luna. Luna, how are you?
I'm doing good. That game one was intense. Like I'm really excited to see how this is going to go down.
Definitely. And one thing to note also for the side of Rawr Rampage is that they are losing two bans. They are using a E-sub here for their support player, Pastel Pervert, an E-sub that they are using for support. So they will lose two bans in the first phase. First ban coming out of Vengeful Reaper here will be an Anivia aimed at Todd. Interesting ban choice, considering that I don't believe Todd has played Anivia in the league thus far, and is usually known more for his assassin play as well. The second ban and third ban coming from Vengeful Reapers being Veigar and Caitlyn, while Rampage is banning out Orianna as their only ban in Phase 1.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting choice to ban. Perhaps Todd plays Anivia or has been practicing on a different account or something. I'm not sure. I don't know. Todd is definitely a very strong player. So if they think that what they need to do is to try to limit him, then it's a respectable goal.
True that, and as we go into that, the first pick coming up from Rawr Rampage will be Misfortune, and it looks like they'll be pairing that with a Morgana in the bot lane. Vengeful Reapers picking Ornn and Alistar, two tanks right off the bat here, and Rampage will round it off with a Maokai pick into the top lane, and it will be J2 playing their top lane here.
So this is going to be very interesting because Vengeful just came off of a win against an MF Morg bot lane. So I guess we'll have to see how much of a skill gap there actually is.
Definitely, and they've completely switched up their bot lane. Previously, they had run the Caitlyn and Nautilus into the Morg MF, but this game they're going to run an Alistar Jinx into the Morgana MF. What differences do you think we'll see in laning phase here, Luna, in the bot lane?
You know, it's very interesting. Because, I mean, Jinx, it's, you know, I don't know, I don't know why they would change it up like that. Well, I guess they did ban their own Caitlyn to prevent Baby Broke Bunny from having it. So maybe this is their backup option into that comp.
Right, and we'll have to see how that plays out for sure. Not seen this matchup in quite a while. The bans do continue with Rampage banning out the Sejuani there, followed by Vengeful Reapers banning out Zac and Silas, and then Rawr Rampage just finishing their ban phase there with a Ziggs ban. We saw how effective Fezzy Fez could be with that Ziggs, so solid ban there on the side of Rampage.
Yeah, like those were, I mean, they played Sedge and Ziggs last game for Vengeful, and they were crucial to being able to transition the game. So it's a good call.
And we see the Poppy pick coming up from Vengeful Reapers. Jason KV showing an extremely dominant jungle Poppy in their games last week. Potentially, it will be the jungle Poppy again here for the side of Vengeful Reapers.
And something so far, I'm curious as to what Rawr is going to do right here. Right now they have three. Okay, and there's the change. There's the change. Because Shadow Keepers had a Maokai last game as well.
Yeah, so interesting picks there from the side of Rampage. They go with a Yasuo and Elise. We have seen Todd play that Yasuo to devastating effect in the past. The Elise for Finny here, I don't believe we've seen him play it in the Coalition League thus far. It'll be interesting for sure, and we'll have to see how effective he will be with that Elise, one of the strongest early game gankers. And Vengeful Reapers now rounding out their pick with a Xerath. Very interesting mid laner here for the side of Vengeful Reapers.
Huh. All right. I can kind of see it. Like, Xerath does have option to get around the wind wall. So that makes sense. And I mean, when wind wall is down, Xerath can put out a ton of burst damage. So I like the call. I like it. And the Ornn pick definitely puts Rampage on a clock. If Ornn gets to late game, then Vengeful will start to scale on everyone, regardless of how well they're doing.
Yeah, but Vengeful will have to watch out. They are a little light on sustained damage in fights, relying primarily onto that Jinx there. We'll have to see if they are able to sort of scale into that, into those later team fights on the side of Rampage. They've got a lot of damage. One huge tank in the Maokai, and we saw how tanky a Maokai can get. It took forever for Vengeful to take down Rinks last game, so
that is very true. But the huge difference here is Maokai is ideal. Like, they have more of a counter engage comp. They're not looking to start fights, because if they wanted to start a fight, the only ways they can do so is if Morg flash ults in with the Zonias, which I don't see that happening. Maokai getting a good flank and tossing up an ult, and maybe a Yasuo hitting a tornado for an ult. That's it. I mean, at least she's an assassin, and I mean, MF is just straight burst damage, as we saw last game.
And I must say that the pick and ban phase did not go the way I thought it would go. Both Rampage and Vengeful have shown a propensity to play towards sort of strong lanes, strong champions, individual champions, rather than sort of compositions here. And this time we do see more of the shapes of compositions with the sort of Maokai with Misfortune, the Yasuo with Misfortune, a lot of AoE sort of things coming out of Rampage. And on the side of Vengeful, you know, like a sort of protect the Jinx style composition, a more standard, you know, 3 tanks here, not as much just damage across like all the lanes or out of the jungle on the side of Vengeful Reapers. So I feel like the stylistic matchup, this match might be quite different from what I had been hoping for in that just straight mechanical skill against each other.
Right. Well, like, there could still be the mechanical skill, because they both essentially are running a counter engage comp. Because Ornn ult is, I mean, you will try to engage with it more times than not if you need to, but I feel it's better for a disengage or a counter engage. Then you have Alistair, he can just headbutt someone out of a fight. Poppy can pull someone out of a fight. Xerath has a good, I think it's up to a 2-second stun. So, like, they have an insane amount of heal for either Jinx or Xerath, whoever is doing more damage at them.
Yeah, so probably not a lot of action in the early game from the side of Vengeful Reapers. There will be Rawr Rampage, who has the early game jungler, who will be looking for those early game picks here, and then the mid game will be when we'll have to see all the action. I don't think either team are looking particularly to go into the late game, but I would give it over to Vengeful Reapers. So we'll have to see, you know, really how this game goes based on the decisions that the teams make and when they want to fight. Now we will be heading into the intermission break here as the teams get loaded up into the Summoner's Rift, and we'll wait for the spectate delay here. So we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. And we're back onto the rift here. Both teams have spawned onto the Rift, and they both have fairly strong level 1 teams, but it looks like neither team is looking to get a serious 5-man invade on here. Both teams just opting to go with a 5-point start, and it looks like there's an issue. Jason KB had issues connecting with the game, so we will be in a bit of a pause. Luna, who do you think is going to win this game?
Man, I don't even know. Like Vengeful, they played out of their minds last game, and I mean we've only seen Rawr Rampage drop one game to MG play it. So I don't know. Like Rampage is definitely one of the best teams in the league, and if Vengeful plays as well as they played last game, I think there's going to be another neck-to-neck bloodbath.
Definitely, and that does seem to become to be becoming a bit of a Vengeful Reaper thing, which is lots of fights, lots of very good fights, not necessarily one. Well, good for us as audience and viewers, where it's not a completely one-sided fight, but certainly good fights all round here. And it looks like Jason KB has managed to reconnect, so both teams will have full 5 here. Not too long a pause, which is great. That cowbell is starting to get a bit annoying though. Jadelian just taunting away in that bush. Looks like the junglers will both be starting at their respective blue buffs here.
But Jadelian, he knows what's up. He has a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
We see a deep ward coming out from Todd here on the side of Rampage, deep into Vengeful Reaper's jungle there. So they will be able to spot out Jason KB if when he heads up to that top side of the map. And it looks like neither team bothered to fake the leash here, so they won't know where the junglers are to start the game. Finny, aggressive, we said at least very good early game jungler, and he's going for it early. Will force the flash and heal out of Fez really early. I love that gank path just went straight from blue right into the enemy side. Definitely not expected for Fez there, and he ends up taking a lot of damage. We do see Jason KB now roaming up towards that mid. A flash from Finny as he goes in, will get the stun up. Will they get the kill? The ignite goes down. First blood over to Finny's Elise. Now Jason KB has to be careful. He's in a bad position, but Finny ends up taking a turret shot, and the minion wave is there. And Finny and Todd will have to back off first blood to Rampage.
Yeah, that was... Oh, but it ain't over yet, folks.
No, it is not. Jason going in, trying to get the kill onto Todd, but Finny's stuck in the minions right now. The shield comes up for Todd. The flash, and they will be able to turn that onto Jason. 2v1 for another kill. So that's first blood onto Finny and second blood onto Todd.
Yeah, that was definitely a good attempt by Jason. He was like a split second off from getting that the shield from Yasuo coming in clutch there.
Yeah, maybe if he had gone for the flash, he might have been able to pick up the kill, but now we'll never know, and instead the score becomes 2-0 for the side of Rawr Rampage. And Fez is going to have a really hard time. That's already a 500 gold discrepancy and a bit of a level lead too on, or would have been, but Todd is forced to back, so that's okay. But instead he'll come back to the lane with boots and a Doran's raid. So Fez will have to be very careful with his positioning there. If he gets caught out, Todd will be able to just run him down in that lane now.
Right. I mean, Xerath's no pushover. He does put out a lot of damage. I mean, he can be very mana heavy. But, I mean, if you don't dodge that stuff, it's going to have a bad time.
Yeah, and we'll have to see if he can dodge those out. He did also go back to base, but he picked up a Dark Seal. So Fez still feeling confident in himself there, despite the first blood he gave over, that he can survive this and be able to keep those stacks on that Dark Seal. But we do see Finny here. He's in the topside jungle. Looks like he never really left Jason KB alone there, and will be taking the farm from Jason. Jason did manage to get quite a bit of experience in the middle. A beautiful wind wall to stop the stun coming up from Fez down to half health, and Finny just barely missing the cocoon. That would have spelled death for Xerath if he did manage to land it, but they now know he is in there. Jason KB looking like he'd rather still farm it up rather than try and stop Finny from being in his jungle, but it looks like now he's coming there. Finny will have to be careful. He's been caught between a rock and a Poppy. Might go down for his sins, and indeed he will go down, giving a kill over to Jason KB's Poppy.
Yeah, that was very good communication. As soon as Fezzy saw the missed cocoon, he pinged where Finny was, and Jason was like, "All right, man, got you. I'll be there." Sure enough, he got the kill, and he got his team on the board.
Yep, and you know, I'm not familiar personally with Poppy Jungle very much, but Jason's making me a fan here. He did great with it in week 1, and again here, like, he's very aggressive with it. He has that CS lead on Finny, despite Finny getting the first blood there. And in gold, he's actually managed to pull even with that kill of his own. So yeah, it seems to be really working out for him in the bot lane now. Jadelian getting the stun onto Pastel Pervert. The bot lane of Rampage is out of mana. They have to be careful. Imagines is trading health for mana here as his health is going down, but it looks like he will be safe. And we see Jason sneaking around the back. There's no more mana for a Black Shield. The flash knock-up on the side of Jadelian, but they didn't quite chain it right, and Baby Rope Bunny will be able to flash out to safety. Now Pastel Pervert, the one taking the damage here, but will be able to be safe. They are having to be careful. Finny is missing. Looks like Finny's actually doing the dragon while all this is happening, but might get spotted out here as Jason KB is walking around. They will be able to secure it. Todd in the area. Jason KB going in for the kill, but gets stunned up instead. Xerath in the area will be able to pick Finny up, so it will be a Drake for a kill, but the fight's not over. Now Todd is in it deep. Imagines getting damage out here. Jason continuing the damage here. The knock-up onto Xerath, the last breath, but it will be his dying breath as he goes down to Jason KB, and the entirety of Vengeful Reapers shows up there at the teleport from True Hero for the Ornhorn.
So I'm not sure if the teleport was necessary there, but aside from that, that was a very good roam by both Todd and Fezzy. Todd to help Finny with the dragon and secure that just before Jason showed up to potentially steal it, and then with the road by Fezzy to pick up that kill, like, or to help pick up the kills. So this is some great gameplay so early.
It definitely is, and you know, I thought they'd be just looking to farm up, go to that mid game where both teams are really strong, but they're going right at it, and we expected Finny to be aggressive. That's Finny's style, is to be aggressive. He picked an early game champion in Elise, and so we expected that from him, but Jason's matching him aggression for aggression right now, and Jason's now up 3-1. The only concern I have here for Vengeful Reaper's early game right now is just that all their kills are sitting on a tank jungler, and you know, I don't know if that's actually the best place to put it, but we'll have to see. Jason's been doing a great job thus far, you know, getting his leads into the other lane, so hopefully he can keep that up here for Vengeful Reapers.
Right, because like, while he does have all the kills, I mean, there's only been 3 kills, but there's 5 assists. So while he has the kills, he is still at least being able to spread that gold out some. So I think it's, at this point in time, I think it's going to be beneficial. Now, if it keeps happening, it might be an issue.
For sure, and looks like Finny manages to get yet another objective on the map. Will pick up the Herald here. And Jason was in the area. He seems to roughly know, but it's always a little too late. Now getting caught up by the team. The last breath coming out. A beautiful 2-man knockup from Todd. Finny will pick up the shutdown onto Jason KB, evening up the kills to a 3-3.
Yeah, and that was also the bounty. So.
And they weren't done. Todd with the aggression dives under the turret, will manage to pick up Fez there as well, and now True Hero alone facing 3. The Ornhorn sounds, but he's stunned up, will not be able to do the second part of the Ornhorn, will instead go down to J2. Todd not getting assist on that kill as he was desperately trying to stay alive, was down to about 10 health at his lowest there.
Yeah, that was I don't know how I feel about that. I respect the idea. I don't think he needed to go all the way to mid-turret to initiate the Ornhorn there, though. I feel like he could have done it so from, like, maybe Raptor Pit or something like that.
Yeah, but unfortunately that wasn't the choice he decided to make at the end of the day, and so he will pay for his sins with his life. And a kill going over to J2 in the top lane there. So it looks like despite the early lead Jason KB managed to get, it's going to be Rawr Rampage who has the gold lead here, almost a 3,000 gold lead, as they did drop Herald in the mid lane as well and got most of the plates off. Fez has to be careful. He's once again a little far out. Will he get caught out? He will. Zonia's trying to bait out the stun. Will not get the stun. Instead, stun going down onto Jason KB. He's taking a lot of damage, but will be able to get to safety. So both mid laner and jungle will be able to survive there. But that is stopwatch from Fez.
Yeah, and we see that Fezzy went for a lost chapter, so he really needs that Zonia pretty early, and it's just that's going to delay him.
Yeah, that Dark Seal really not paying dividends for him in the mid lane there. Sure, it helps with the potion giving him a bit more health, but he's got no stacks on it, and the way his lane is going, he probably won't be able to keep stacks on it in lane. But once he's out of lane, the range of Xerath is nothing to scoff at, and so he will be able to hopefully make up for the poor laning phase he's currently having against that Yasuo.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how well. Wow, they are not giving Fizzy an inch.
No, like the repeated ganks, the last breath, they get just the tip of the tornado there. The ignite coming down after the heal, but it doesn't matter. They still will be able to take him down. Fez is just getting dove repeatedly here. And really, I don't see what he can do. If a cocoon lands, if a tornado lands, Todd is not afraid to dive that turret.
Yeah, that's definitely playing a lot of respect to Fezzy. Just being like, we realize you're a threat. We will focus you all game if need be.
Yeah, and it's just typical of Rampage. They are going for that dragon there. Second Drake of the game will go over to Rampage uncontested. A flash from Todd as he tries to get the knock-up. He will get the knock-up into Jidelian, but it's against an Alistar. I'm not sure that's going to be really helpful there. We do see the Unbreakable will come down, and that will basically keep him safe from the knock-up there. Vinny in the jungle, he's lurking, trying to get a kill, but he's kind of low. I'm not sure he really wants to get this here. Will spot out Jason KB, but now it's him running away from Jason. A good Dark Binding will keep Vinny alive for now. We see the Morgana out coming up. The Pastel Pervert has to be careful. A failed flash knock-up from Jadelian there. Finny will, in that fight, go down to Imagines at the end of the day, and it's much needed from the side of Imagines. We haven't been really talking much about that bot lane, but Baby Rope, Bunny, and Pastel have been slowly creating their own lead, up about 25 CS there.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate for Finny, but it was definitely a good catch for Reapers.
Yeah, and it will help Imagines there to catch up in goal now. Not too far behind at all from Baby Rope Bunny.
Yeah, Baby Rope Bunny has a very commanding CS lead at the moment.
Right, but the kill and assist will even things out. But Pastel Pervert stepping out just a little too far. We'll get the hit butt pulverize combo, followed by a super mega death rocket just to finish him off there. We'll feed yet another kill over to Imagines, and that's a Jinx Imagines is on. You don't want to get the Jinx fed. It's one of the strongest late game hyper carries in the game.
This is very true. Like, I mean, you give Jinx 1.5, 2 items, and she'll take it and run. Literally.
Yep, indeed, she will get excited and run away with the lead right onto the rest of your team after she gets anybody killed the first time there. But despite the troubles they're having in the ball, a flash from Fez forced out by Todd. Their mid lane and their top lane are still absolutely dominating here. J2 is having yet another lane lead in the top lane, has the teleport advantage as well, can help out the other lanes. Mid lane, Fez is just having a really rough time, forcing Jason KB round to assist him here. But Todd now getting caught in a 1v4, a roam from True Hero and Jadelian. They will pick up Todd here, but it will go over to True Hero. The bounty, 200 gold bounty heading over to True Hero instead of one of the carries. Once again, the tanks getting fed on the side of Vengeful Reapers.
And I want to point out that at first I was kind of questioning that flash to prevent the Yasuo ult from being an option. but Finney was in the area and just waiting for a cocoon.
Definitely.
And wasn't able to get it off.
Definitely, and if he had landed, we've seen that Todd's perfectly willing to pull that trigger, even in what looks like dangerous circumstances. That would have been happy to trade his life for a kill. But while that was happening, Finney does manage to pick up his 4th objective of the game. Rampage having a monopoly on the neutral objectives right now. Will have Herald again. Looks like they're considering dropping it mid. That turret is very low and would easily be taken down, I think, even without Shelly's assistance. So we'll have to see if they decide to do that or not. Finney taking a lot of burst from Fezzy Fez there. The Xerath poke, like you said, it does put out a lot of damage even from behind. And they have taken down the first turret of the game in the mid lane there without dropping Shelly. So they will be able to drop Herald into a different lane. We'll have to see where Finney decides to put that one.
Right, so right now, if I'm Vengeful, my game plan would be to play through bot. Bot is the lane that is doing the best, aside from...
but it looks like there's a dive in the bot lane. Todd and Finney going to take their leads to the other lanes. They get a perfect dive, catch them outside the turret, kill Imagine and Dejelian. That's a 2 for 0, and they also drop Herald, so they pick up that turret as well. They're now escorting Shelly up to the next turret there. Xerath, the only one. I don't think he can stop this. No, a flash from Finney will basically not catch anything as Jason has already backed off. But that's still 2 turrets in the bot lane as well as 2 kills. A Dark Binding will land onto Xerath, but he's well under turret there. Very, very safe. Shelly getting a 3rd charge off that inhibitor turret, taking a ton of damage, will be extremely low. And Dragon's coming up 15 seconds. Cloud Drake, it looks like Rampage is happy to just rotate onto that Dragon, and an amazing push for the side of Rampage in the bot lane there.
Yeah, that was... And, like, you can already see all of the vision that Rampage has in the jungle of VGR. So they knew that it was definitely the safe play. It was an easy execute. Let's go for it. And they thought they were pulling a trigger. They were firing a cannon.
Yeah, that's absolutely huge. They will lose top turret for that, but I think a turret, one outer turret for an inner turret, an outer turret, and a huge damage on the inhib turret is definitely worth it, not to mention the Drake that they will now be picking up, the Cloud Drake here. They are taking a bit of time, so Jason is in the area. He's going to go for that 50-50 and manages to steal. Jason keeping his team in the game. Will flash himself out to safety. Will use the ultimate to disengage, but Finney is still chasing. Will be able to get the execute down. His life for his team. Baby Rope Bunny has to be careful. Gets caught out by Dejelian there, but will be able to flash to safety. Bullet time coming across the team there, doing a lot of damage. Dejelian will go down to Pastel Pervert instead. And a beautiful knock-up from Todd onto Imagines, and True Hero will be able to pick up the kill onto Imagines there. So that ultimately becomes a 3 for 0, it looks like, for them. But they do secure Drake at least to stop the Soul Point. I'm not sure if it's worth it, as tier 2 mid lane turret now, the focus of them, they will be able to get it down quite easily for the side of Rawr Rampage.
Yeah, that was a very impressive steal. I think this was maybe the first time that we've seen Xerath all game.
Baby Rope Bunny sticks around a little too long, and True Hero manages to pick him up. And we see Finney as well in the jungle, came out to try and assist the backup, but Jason will be able to pick Finney off now. Todd on the run. J2 sitting in that bush, and Pastel Pervert backing him up. But that's a tank. That's a Poppy. Can you really kill him in time? Looks like yes, they can. They get the isolate off, and only Fezzy Fez in the area. But no, Jason's tagging enough to survive that. Fezzy Fez didn't quite have enough mana or damage to dissuade the team, but the rest of Vengeful Reapers are up now. Will be able to escort Jason to safety there. Good play from the side of Vengeful Reapers.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Jason was going for there, because he was just kind of blindly chasing, because they didn't have any vision there. But, I mean, no one died, so it's worth it, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, they don't lose much at all on the back of that, and Todd was kind of low. Jason, I guess, knowing that his champion's limits better than we do, and so managed to just walk out of there quite safely. Didn't even have to burn any summoners to get out alive there.
Right. I guess the plan there was just to stall them and give the waves time to just reset, because now both mid and bot are clashing mid map. So
Yeah, and I mean, right now, the scoreline 11-9, 2 Drakes to 1, 4 turrets to 1 in favor of Rawr Rampage. Looks like they're setting up for Baron here. They know they've cleared out all the vision in the pit itself, so they know that Vengeful Reapers don't have vision. It looks like Reapers kind of suspect they're there. They will get the ward down, and now they've got vision on it here. The Xerath out coming down. The Ornhorn sounds, but J2 will be able to secure that Baron there, and Rampage gets it. Will even pick up Jason KB on the back of it. Now, True Hero, he went in. The Horn sounded. He was on the wrong side of that fight, and he will get picked up as well. Why was he there? That's a 2-for-0, and Baron over to Rawr Rampage.
yeah.
Oh, but Fez managed to pick Finny up on the back end of that. The Xerath range coming in useful as he does get the pick onto Finny.
Yeah, it was definitely a good attempt, because at the time Jason did have level advantage, so he could have gotten another steal there, just like at the previous Dragon Pit fight.
Yeah, but unfortunately this time he doesn't quite get it. The damage output's higher than they expect, and Rampage manages to take it down very, very quickly here. And Todd split pushing. It's a 4-1 split here, and no one can really answer Todd. We see Jason showing up there, but he can't handle it alone, and Jason's the most fed member on his team, but the rest of his team's showing up now. True Hero has arrived. Fez is in range to get some of his poke down. Imagines has arrived as well, but you can't catch Todd. Todd can just walk out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to just get the counter push and stop them from using that Baron buff as much as they possibly can. No one dies, get a little bit of farm in the process. I'd say it's a win for Vengeful.
Definitely, they just want to stall the game. I think at this point, they're quite far behind in the fights. They won't know the goal difference, but it's about 7,000 at this point, or 6,500, 7,000, and they are definitely having problems so far. That top lane turret finally going down, the last remaining outer turret on the side of Vengeful Reapers, and it looks like Rampage is going for that third Drake. It's Cloud Drake again, and it will be spawning in about 10 seconds here. Can Jason steal this one to keep themselves in the game?
It will definitely be harder this time, with both him and Finny being equal in level. So this time it truly will be a 50-50.
They do have good vision on the map though on the side of Rampage right now. But Jason gets caught out. We'll have to flash to safety, but Finny is going hard for that, looking for the execute. Gets knocked away, but not far enough. Jason will go down, so there's no more chance of a steal here on the side of Vengeful Reapers, and the fight continues. But Vengeful will be able to get most of their people out there. Xerath using the ult, seeing who he can get, looking to get Baby Rope Bunny. Will land it, but the Black Shield and the heal to keep Baby Rope Bunny safe there. Todd going extra aggressive, trying to pick a kill there. Will get punted to safety by J-Delian. And now it's Imagine's in a bad spot. Fez the one to get caught out there. The last breath comes out. Will be able to easily kill. We saw that so many times in lane, and now we're seeing it in the mid game as well. Baby Broke Bunny is low. True Hero going after him there. Can he get the kill? No. A beautiful Dark Binding will keep Bunny safe, but the long range Super Mega Death Rocket from across the map will pick up Baby Rope Bunny on the back end of that there.
These extended fights in these past couple games are crazy. That fight started before Dragon, and it's still going.
Yeah, basically just non-stop. And I have to say, Rampage looks poised to close this game out. They don't have Baron buff on themselves anymore, but they have taken the mid lane inhibitor, and now they're rotating to the bot lane inhibitor turret and potentially the inhibitor after this as well. The burst coming out there, J-Delian almost going down, and that's an Alistar. He's rather tanky. Granted, he's low level, level 9, lowest in the game by about 2 levels from his counterpart, Pastel Pervert on the Morgana there. But still, he's still tanky. Shouldn't be chunked that hard that fast there.
Right. Well, his ult is still down currently, so he's not as tanky as he would like to be. But yeah, I agree. Being able to say, "Oh, hi, you're a tank," and now you're not. That's a scary thought.
Definitely, and you know, one thing that I've noticed about this game is that Rampage has played a very, very clean, objective game here. There's 7 turrets up. They had full dragon control. They have 3 out of 4 dragons, and that dragon they lost was just because of a smite steal there. Like, Jason went on a suicide mission to pick up that drake, and they got Baron. They're playing an extremely clean game, 2 heralds, everything basically. That's not typically what we expect from Rampage. Usually they're a more scrappy team. They go a lot for those 1v1 mechanical outplays, 2v2s, the skirmishes, not so much the 5v5s or the objectives. But yeah, I don't know if it's maybe that they're respecting the play from Vengeful Reapers, but they've played it very, very clean thus far here. And now True Hero getting caught out under his turret. Todd is just ripping right through him there. They will pick up the kill, and they've got their eyes set on the last inhibitor left for the side of Vengeful Reapers.
Yeah, it was definitely a huge pickup, taking Ornn out of the equation early, because those respawn times are starting to get pretty lengthy. He's got like another 25 seconds till he's back up, so it's definitely looking really bad right now for Vengeful Reapers.
Yeah, Rawr, Todd and J2 are just in their base. Todd taking a lot of turret shots that he didn't have to take there, but a wind wall, last second wind wall will keep him safe from the Super Mega Death Rocket. The Maokai ultimate is coming up. Can it catch people? It's caught the Poppy, and that's all it's managed to catch, but that's all they need to catch. They've forced off the entire Vengeful Reapers off their turret here. Now Jadelian trying to tank the front line to buy time for his team, but will go down to Finny, and the bullet time there. Imagine's doing a lot of damage in the 1v1 to Baby Rope Bunny, but will go down. Fezzy Fez managing to pick up Baby Rope Bunny there, so it's a 1-for-2 at this point in the game. Fezzy Fez at the back trying to poke down, but he has to be careful if a single tornado lands from Todd. He might go down there. They're very, very low on health. 2v3, but there we go. The tornado lands. The last breath comes out. Fezzy Fizz goes down. Now it's True Hero going down. The turrets are down. The super minions have taken down the Nexus turrets, and they will be able to quickly clean this up, pick up the Nexus. 26-39. I believe that is the fastest game for Vengeful Reapers thus far, and it is to second placed Rawr Rampage, who have continued their streak. Congratulations to Rawr Rampage.
Yeah, that was some words. That was some very crazy macro from Rampage. They started their win in the mid lane, and then they transitioned it straight to bot lane, all the way to inhib turret, and they just steamrolled from there.
That was, I think, some of the cleanest macro I've seen coming out of Rawr Rampage, and some of the cleanest macro I think we've seen in the game thus far. And even then, Vengeful Reapers still fighting back really well. 23-13 the final scoreline. Vengeful Reapers did not go quietly into the night. They fought for every inch of that game, and Jason KB doing amazingly well. The jungler for Vengeful Reapers, I think, would have been my personal pick for MVP this game if we do vote MVPs. But, you know, yeah, it's a good game. And Game 3, we will be following Rawr Rampage here into their next game, which will be against third place DOV Nightfall. So it will be an interesting third game here for the standings as well, since third place will now be second and third place will be fighting it out. The win alone won't change their standings, but still it bodes well for them in the playoffs. And we'll now be heading into intermission here, and we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes for Rampage versus DOV.